Good evening.
How y'all doing?
Um, Welcome to the news at the Lost Begotten channel.
Woohoo!
And we have notes. But before we get into it, we were just having a heated discussion, as it were.
Heated.
I don't know.
We don't have heated discussions.
We were having a little conversation about the Electoral College and the delegate-based party system versus a, everybody votes on the federal election all at once kind of thing.
Popular vote.
Popular vote system. Okay. And while for most of my life I've sympathized with the popular vote view, like I guess in my old age or whatever, it's become the difference between mob rule and a proper democratic government system. Okay. Um, okay, I'll make one of the points that I just made, and then you can bring up something, and we can go back and forth some more. One was that the people watch TV. Okay, and people in the government, in the state government even, read intelligence reports. Okay, and those state governments, and not necessarily the people counted all over the whole country, need to have rights as far as their representation in the federal government in order to get things done on behalf of the people that the people, are too busy watching the Kardashians to be concerned with. And, yeah, so what you
I
got?
just, I just don't think that that's that big of a deal when you get down to it. I mean, if you only break it down to nothing else being voted for except the leader of the country, then why why can't all the people's voices be heard? We live in Louisiana. Louisiana is a red state. It's been a red state as far back as what? From the time of King Tut. It's pretty much always been a red state. So, Democrats that live in Louisiana don't have a say. I mean, really, because the delegates and the people who are elected to vote on our behalf are always going to vote Republican. So why can't it just be that?
Well, I mean, we would have to have, because I mean, nobody really knows the population of Republicans or Democrats, but we would have to have extreme amounts of voter turnout on the Democratic side in the few swing areas, because this is one of the many states that where the cities are blue and the outlying areas are red, right? Um, but of course, here like Texas, there's been a lot of gerrymandering, and yeah, it's pretty much going to go Republican, and that's the problem. That's where that comes in. Is it's supposed to be something that's decided to actually best represent the population of the people, but then gerrymandering comes in.
And it does, and you take away that whole process, and it takes out that whole level of corruption. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. All of a sudden, the majority of the state votes Democrat, but because the people you elected are Republican, they're not bound. Learn this. Civics. Thank you, Gambaluka. They are supposed to vote with their state, but they are not bound to do so. Think about that.
It depends on the law of that state. Okay, like whereas in the party, there's a convention in that state that decides on the rules that those delegates vote on in that party system, which isn't the government federal election system.
Does everybody follow the same
Okay.
fucking rules?
No. The state has a law that governs all the parties' conventions within that state. And then those conventions have to decide on what their rules are going to be based on those laws. But those laws are usually like we're going to have our convention here, or all of our delegates are going to be bound or unbound. And there are states that have those specific laws. There are states that don't, and then the conventions decide. Okay.
Corruption. That's what I smell. I smell corruption.
Okay. But absolute power corrupts absolutely. Now take the converse system. Okay, this all came about. We started talking about this when I was sitting there thinking about examples, because I thought of a good example before when I started writing these notes about democracy versus socialism. Okay. Now the converse system, you can actually see if you go to a socialist state, like, you know, communist Russia, where there was a federal system, a federal party, okay, and the federal government sent out people to monitor a popular vote, okay. Now, the same corruption can occur on the local level, okay. It can be organized and affect the changes in the same exact way. But what you have is the ability, once someone gets into power, for them to consolidate it. Whereas this system that we have, as weird as it seems, it prevents foreign infiltration to a certain extent, which apparently a certain has found a way around, in my opinion. Okay. Via the help of his best friend who rides, you know, his horse. Okay. Nudge, nudge, saying the more, sir. Okay.
But also, like, they count the popular vote anyway.
Yeah.
So why have that extra step? You've already got the popular vote.
I mean, because we can do math. So we, you know, there's the number. It's not here going, I don't know what it is. I'm just saying.
What's your point? You already count the popular
What's your
vote.
point?
My point is that you're creating an extra step in the process. You're already counting the popular vote. Every individual who goes out and votes goes out, clicks their little button, or, you know, their little thingy, or I don't know how other states do it.
But okay, so to protect the rights, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but this is the logic upon which it's set up, is that a state like Rhode Island, Hawaii, or something like that will have its voice heard a little more loudly, and a state like Texas or California or Florida will actually, even though they do have very large electoral counts, will have their voices quieted a little bit. And while gerrymandering on the state level and that representative thing, that is a very big problem, this system actually, to a certain extent, balances out the influence of one state's population versus another.
What does the state have to do with it? You're electing the leader of the entire country, not like a governor of your state. So
okay,
what does
because
each state matter?
this country wasn't founded in an imagination. Okay, it wasn't like put together in an ideal way. It was put together as like a confederacy of different mini governments. Okay, understand that these states have rights.
I understand that.
Their governments have rights, and they want to keep their rights. They want to keep their power. Okay,
Nobody's saying take it away from them.
It's the United States.
Nobody's
like, they
saying
agree.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
everybody in the United States.
But understand, like, from its founding, like go back to the 13 colonies. Okay. You're not going to get together with these 3 states and get somebody elected that I don't like here in my little tiny state.
I'm not saying like everybody. I'm not saying have 50 million freaking candidates to vote for. Like, go through the whole process.
Do you understand how it works, though?
Yes. Narrow it down to the 2 people and have the entire country vote and count. So why would it matter what state has how many people in it if you're going based off of the popular vote? Because the country is supposed to decide who is going to lead it. Then why do you need to worry about states?
That's mob rule. Okay, so I'm a Texan. I can get all the Texans to vote for me. If I go kiss California's ass, I don't have to worry about the benefits of just about any other fucking state. I can pick and choose. I can say fuck coal miners, fuck these people, fuck these people, fuck these people. Just worry about these places and get elected. You understand? Florida, California, and Texas, and you're in. Popular vote. You know, give or take a few states here and there. Right.
But I mean, you're not the whole state. And again,
so I mean, it really does. It doesn't sound like it works when you think about it. When you hear about it, it doesn't sound like it works. I agree with you, and I don't necessarily agree that it's the best system. But we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a world with YouTube propaganda that makes a lot of people completely full of shit, and I'm glad we elect people, and then they get more aware of what's going on. In most cases, some just don't bother to, but you know.
Well, what actually brought this conversation up, and actually I was having an argument with myself in my head, is what really started this argument. But what I got to thinking was about the whole Bernie Sanders and the DNC scandal right now. How they're saying that, how...
I got that somewhere here.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to briefly touch on it, because that's what did this. He's saying that they stole delegates. Okay,
right.
But if you count the popular vote from the primaries, Hillary Clinton had 6 million... I believe it was 6 million more votes than Bernie Sanders did. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Right.
Cut out the delegates, it wouldn't have mattered. Hillary Clinton would have still been the Democratic nominee. You're bitching about an extra step in the process that really doesn't even need to happen to begin with. Because all it's doing is opening more doors to create problems such as this and divide us even further. Right. The Democratic Party should be standing together right now behind Hillary. She's the nominee, but they're not. Because Bernie's whining about, they took delegates. If you look at the popular number, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. That's where this argument in my head started.
You're right about that case, okay? But just like the way the Trump campaign has been ran, the people who are against us and want to see us divided have studied and basically learned. I mean, they know our election system better than we do. So when they plan something like what's going on in this country right now, yeah, it's gonna cause some chaos. I mean, it's usually like you know what you were saying about how Republicans vote more in the local elections and the interim and the midterm elections and stuff like that. Well, it used to be that things like a Democratic convention, it was, I guess I should say, easier to weed out the people who were not really loyal to America. And that sounds a little harsh, but I'm gonna get to my reasons behind that and in the newts once we get to them. But what we had right now were very well organized efforts, and we've seen some very well organized efforts in Europe recently, okay, to basically by elections piece by piece in local levels, okay, via not only propagandizing and brainwashing, but actually just, you know, putting people in place ahead of time. Okay? Just spending a lot of money, putting people in place ahead of time. I think that's really been done here. Okay? Just like in the bull movement, you have people from out of state causing problems at protests and shit. Okay, you have people from out of state trying to influence these elections and local levels. And in my opinion, that's how Donald Trump managed to pass up these, I don't know, like if I can speak highly of any of them, these upstanding people. I don't know if they're upstanding, but that they're better than Donald Trump. Like
Hey, I like
as
to
bad
think
as
so.
any of them were. How? Does anybody really know how?
I didn't mind.
Do you think that poorly of people? Like, I can't bring myself to think that people are that fucking stupid. I think he cheated. I really do. I just no fucking way. Just like he's got all these fucking trolls on here.
You haven't been
Okay?
on Facebook
There's
much.
people from Russia pretending to be Americans online supporting Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. So what would put it past them for this to be like maybe a 12-year operation? Maybe even a 2-year operation. Maybe even fucking 8-month operation. Depends on the state law, doesn't it? Because more than 6 months in a lot of states you can vote there. I lived there for 6 months. I live here. I'm voting. Don't cost that much fucking money. And guess what? It's been done on a massive scale in Eastern Europe recently. And that's why we have a fat candy man when we should have a pretty blonde princess.
Purple, because aliens don't wear hats.
Yeah. People in my Support Ukraine group, they were all telling me about how Poroshenko was going to fix things. I just had a bad feeling about him. But they got propagandized against Yulia Tymoshenko. And in my book, it has the same air to it and holds about as much water as the propagandized things against the Clintons, for instance. But you can look all that up yourself. This video ain't about that. But I'm just saying...
Not this time.
I'm just saying Ukraine would be in a much better position today if Tymoshenko was elected. But I guess not enough people understood how well somebody can learn lessons, or how the perspective for all of us, including Ukrainians, changed over the years. And, you know, thinking the Cold War was over in the 90s, everybody was in a completely different mind frame. And, you know, cooperation could be advantageous for things, for reasons that they don't say in anti-Tymoshenko documentaries. Anyways, moving on.
Don't mind me moving around. I spent an hour on plastic bleachers. Tipping.
Democrats versus socialists. So in a democracy, we have the Electoral College. We have it's called a representative democracy versus socialist mob rule, which would be a way a stick socialist can take over. And it's less about the actual people voting, and it's more about the structure of the government that exists based upon that system. Okay, we have, you know, from our constitutional founding, we have an agreement between states to share power on a federal level based upon equal rights among those states, not just who's got the biggest population is going to run the show. And the other way around, you have the party. And the party comes and tells you how the election is going to work, and the party comes and counts the votes, and once the party's in power, the party's in power. And in an ideal world, one would think that that's not how it would work, but this is not an ideal world, and that's how it's been working historically. So, For at least the past 2,400 years, representative democracy has been the civilized approach to governance.
Banana.
Banana. Okay, sorry, it's like a reflex around here. Respect. Power.
Banana?
Banana. Alright. So, any other difference between Democrats and Socialists that you can think of? Please comment below. Separation of powers in the government as far as war goes, definitely a democracy thing, as opposed to a socialist thing. Trying different things and seeing how they work is a democracy thing, including socialistic ideas. Okay. The government running things outright, and that's how it goes, and for it to change, you have to like have a committee decide. That's socialism. Okay. Sorry, I'm hearing my stepdad's wonderful words of wisdom about committees. You know, if you want to not get something done, give it to a committee. He's a character. Vietnam vet, commander. Anyway. So, like I said, if you got any other fun analogies of Democrats versus socialism, put them in the comments below, please. I'd very much like to laugh at whatever you come up with. So, no more wars, is it? Just outright, no more wars. Every time we're talking about defense or terrorism or anything, no more wars. The Bernie people. So it's burn or bust, including if they come and firebomb us. No more wars. Burn or bust. We'll fucking just, we're gonna burn this motherfucker down. We're gonna collapse the economy and we're gonna destroy the military. That's the burn or bust people to me. Yeah, burn, alright. Feel the burn. No more wars, including stopping terrorism, including stopping genocide. Yeah. Right.
And last I checked, it's not exactly like we are going around starting a bunch of fights with other countries.
We don't start the wars. We finish them. Well, except for that one in Southeast Asia.
We didn't start the fire.
And that one.
It was
But we make a big spectacle of things, and that's fun, right? Not at all expensive. Oh, shit.
We didn't start the fire. It's always burning since the world's been turning, and we didn't start.
Pretty butterfly. Hello, pretty butterfly. So, how are you?
Sing us the song of your people.
Here, keep your eyes open. You look like you're falling asleep.
Just a little bit. It's been a long day. I'm sorry.
Would you like some coffee?
Coffee's good. You didn't have
Cappuccino!
You didn't have to spend 2 hours traipsing around the elementary school in high heels.
Oh, yes. My poor Merface had a long day. How about the exciting part?
And I had Trina with me, all day.
Police?
Oh, yes. Very exciting. On my way home, apparently, for those of you that don't know, today is Thursday, July 28th. There was a memorial service at Healing Place Church in...
Bring more.
He took my coffee. No. Okay.
Starfish loves you.
Mary, you took my coffee. I can't
And then
function.
I took your heart. Well, then I brought you some hearts on a coffee cup. Anyway.
So anyway.
Funny how that worked out. Oh, shit. Okay. Don't kick the camera stand, dumbass.
I'm the one that's tired.
Size 14 shoe. You know, I twitch my fucking heel and half the room collapses.
So anyway, there was a memorial service at one of the churches here in Baton Rouge for our 3 fallen officers that passed last Sunday. And Joe Biden and Loretta Lynch came. And they were talking about closing the interstates. In fact, when I was on my way back from orientation on my lunch break, I actually had to detour off the interstate because it was indeed closed. Because, you know, I wasn't having a stressful enough day already.
And then...
So then I chanced the interstate coming home. I'm like, you know, let's see. I don't see any cops, so let's get on and see what happens. As I'm coming down by the airport exit, I look in my rearview mirror, and I see a whole stream of cop car lights behind me. Scared the crap out of my daughter, because I went, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! While I'm driving, and she's on my tablet playing Candy Crush, and all of a sudden freaked out. I swear I thought she peed on herself. I thought she thought we were going to die. I'm not entirely sure. But apparently, Joe Biden's motorcade was behind us. We apparently got on the interstate right before they shut it down. So that was really exciting. And then Joey asked me if I got nervous, and I said, no, that was too many cops for little old me. Nothing to be nervous about. That at least was fun.
Sounds like a bunch of malarkey to me. No. Oh yeah, you should have seen Trina's face when they got home too. Man, it was just the kind of weird coincidence that would happen to us too. Glad you made it home safe, dear, not like too distracted. Oh my god, oh my god. I just picture that far too easily. Okay, moving on.
Becca said she'd have been hanging out the window. I said I just about slammed on my brakes to let him catch up. Almost.
It's like right up there with an NSX. Like NSX presidential motorcade. NSX presidential motorcade. Vice president. It's Joe. He's practically like the co-president. You know, like, it's Joe.
Alright, he gave a hell of a speech last night, man.
It's like the Dick Cheney that isn't evil and doesn't shoot people in the face.
I'm good.
Okay, you gonna be okay there?
Maybe.
No Jon Stewart moments? Okay.
No, because we can't replace that camera.
Alright.
Pyramid's not going to fall on my head, is it?
What?
What?
Moving on. So, Baton Rouge has come together right now, selling hot lunches. Would you like to fill them in on what's been going on to support the fallen officers' families, dear?
So there have been all kinds of GoFundMe pages set up, all kinds of benefits, blood drives, which I attended yesterday. I donated in the name of the fallen officers, which you can do. You don't even have to wait for a blood drive. You can go to your local hospital and donate, go to any local blood center. Every major city has one. Look for benefits that are going on. I know most of you aren't friends with me on Facebook, but I do frequently post events that are going on.
I'm proud of this city. Like, you know, there's still some weird stuff going on in certain areas, and it's not entirely safe. It's less safe than usual in certain areas, but for the most part, in the communities at large, this whole city has come together over this tragedy, and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, there's a giant memorial that is outside of the Be Quick where the officers were shot too, along Airline Highway. That is balloons, flowers, stuffed animals, cards, you name it. I was actually on, there's a page to support Nick Toulier, who is the officer who is still fighting for his life in the hospital. As far as I know, he's still in a coma.
And they were selling hot lunches,
jambalaya plates
for him.
on
and
Monday.
people were going in there and buying 30 at a time.
There was
Or just dropping off stacks of cash. Like just long, long lines. It's kind of beautiful.
my boss ordered for the office, and we sent our runner up there while she was going to the courthouse, and she said the lady in front of her bought 50 plate lunches.
50.
I thought we were doing good because we had 10 people in the office and we were getting 10 lunches, but nah, man. It's beautiful. It really is. And there's a lot of ways that you can give to the communities. And, you know, the family members are talking about, you know, verify with them if you're trying to make a donation, because there's a lot of, like, GoFundMe pages that are set up that have absolutely nothing to do with the families
And
whatsoever.
if you're looking to contribute, I recommend going to brproud.com or wafb.com. They'll probably have some links to some places where you can help out.
Or WBRZ.com.
WBRZ as well.
Um,
Those are our local news stations.
But yeah, apparently they made a killing out there. But yeah, look for the support pages and make sure if you're trying to make a monetary donation that it is indeed a legit page or account or what have you, because, you know, as sad as it is, there are a lot of people that are going to take advantage of this situation.
Since Katrina, I mean, after Katrina, it was disgusting to see how many con artists were pretending to be, and locals like we, the locals, would see it and spot it and report it, because, you know, like, okay, you're saying you're from here, like, okay, who do you know? Who are you friends with? And these people got like a full online profile and they don't know nobody around here. That doesn't happen in this kind of area. Like, I love Baton Rouge and New Orleans because they are very connected communities. They're the biggest small towns in the country, okay? And that's man, I'm getting a little bit of hope, okay? Because that bullshit that I've been warning about, that's come true. It hasn't worked. And it's not gonna. And I want to thank everybody who's been praying. And I want to thank anybody locally who's been watching, who's been helping out. So, did you hear Matt Damon is born again?
I don't know if it's just the movie makeup or what, or if he actually finally is aging, but I don't know. Some crazy
Right, I was
stuff.
starting to think he was some sort of vampire. Like he just perpetually looked like a 17-year-old boy. Like just anyway. But he was kind of sitting there on the morning show. Was today or the other day, and he had like the one eye kind of crazy. It was like, is he like that into that character to where that's just how he looks now? Like, I look nothing like Matt Damon, but you know, just there. Gotta reduce the forehead size, maybe. Trim the eyebrows a bit. Shave.
No.
Shave.
Laser.
Yes, yes. I would shave, but I don't have a sufficient shark tank. Okay.
Piranha.
Alright, that cigarette has gotten unmanageably short.
Tiger Lily's
That's
laying
what
there
she said.
mocking you.
What?
No, she's bidding
She's
you
just
adieu.
like- She totally bid me adieu. Tiger Lily, I bid you adieu.
She don't give a flying rat's ass.
Bid her adieu with me.
Tiger Lily.
We bid, you
adieu.
Okay, we're done. Sorry. We get carried away sometimes. Newsflash.
I tell people at work that all the time. I'm like, if after 2 years you haven't figured out I'm freaking psycho, you need to work on your people skills, your observation skills.
Yes. So yes, Matt Damon is born again. I just like saying that. Yeah. So some space debris. Space debris has been filmed again. One of the videos looked like the same video as last time or something. You know, like some shit flying over. And they said where. I don't even care anymore. I don't know, it just happens so fucking often. You know, you tell people about Flirth, okay? And they're like, oh, but satellites. Okay. I can fire a rocket, fast or slow, depending on the weight of the rocket, okay? And it be programmed to take pictures every time it faces downward. Right, and that's a imagery satellite. Or you can do what actually is done on Google imaging. Okay, you know, like the things that you think of as satellite imagery were actually taken by planes. And if you just go and look on Google, you can read where it says that. But you see, what happens is, since the Cold War, we've had secret treaties. Okay, and I don't know the details of these secret treaties, but one can kind of deduce many things about them, among which is intelligence gathering agreements. Okay, in fact, we're told it's actually public information that there are intelligence gathering agreements. We're not privy to the details of these intelligence gathering agreements. Well, what I've proposed in previous videos is that basically these intelligence gathering apparatuses, whatever type of flying vehicle they are, okay?
Apparati.
We have yes. Apparati.
Apparati.
These intelligence gathering apparata are since in the air, flying with giant aliens. Okay, sorry, I just had to throw giant aliens in there once it was getting on the action. Didn't even ring a bell. You know,
Ding, ding, ding,
one bell, and we are jamming.
ding,
Two bells,
ding, ding.
we are still jamming. Okay, sorry.
Ding, ding,
Brought
ding.
to you in part by Craig Ferguson, because I watch far too much Craig Ferguson when I get a chance to pretend I'm taking a break. My version of taking a break is I sit down, I light a cigarette, I decide what to watch, and then I get back up and start fucking working again. It's OCD, yay! Okay. So, basically what I was saying is, and I've said it before, so the agreement is you send your stuff here and we're going to send our stuff there at scheduled agreed upon times. And those events are logged and released to the public as meteor showers. Okay? But and that's because these things have to self-destruct. All right? And in a lot of cases there are, you know, cover events. All right? In a lot of cases there's very disappointing events. Okay, those are the actual ones. Forgot where the fuck I was going with that. Any idea, dear?
Space debris.
Space debris? Yeah. So, space debris is a premature detonation.
I hear there's a pill for that.
Yeah. Might be an ointment of some sort. That's a weird word. Ointment.
It puts the lotion on, or it gets the hose.
It puts the lotion in the basket, or it gets the hose now. Sorry. We have like a rare type of Tourette's. Okay. So I have an opinion
Oh no.
This might be a controversial opinion.
Uh-oh.
Shocking, I'm sure. So the guy who shot Reagan getting released. Okay.
Wait, the guy who shot Reagan is getting released?
Yeah, because he's crazy. Okay.
Huh.
All right. Let me just
Like, released
sound like I'm just gonna sound like a dick for a second. I don't care how fucking crazy you are. Okay. And, you know, take it from the guy who thinks he's Jesus or whatever. Okay. Take that for what it's worth. All right. I don't care how fucking crazy you are. How crazy you allow yourself to become, how many demons you allow in your head. How confused and how schizophrenic, how out of touch with reality you are. How pitiful you are. How much I should feel sorry for you. I don't care. Even if I do feel sorry for you. If you attack the public interest, if you terrorize a public facility, or if you attempt to assassinate a public official, you should be locked away for life. So that when someone like that kid who's getting released, there was this guy who
In 1999, in May of 1999, I think it was in Georgia, in Atlanta, maybe, shot and wounded 6 people in his school, and he went to jail, was supposed to be serving a 20-year sentence, and is getting released 3 years early. He was 15 at the time of the shooting.
Okay. Mental hospital until they're cured, then to minimum security holding facility. Okay? But at no point during someone's deteriorating state should they be allowed to think, oh, I can just plead insanity. And I guarantee you that happens. Okay? Especially when it's somebody of a younger age who has that rage against the system rationalization tendency. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? I mean, is that too? I mean, because
No, I mean,
you're
I
talking
agree with
about,
that.
you know, he
Well,
tried to kill our president.
Yeah, what's to say that you're not going to snap and try, to kill somebody else next time? I mean, you're not...
So basically, we've said that you try to kill our president and your life isn't over. No. We'll make you better. Catch and release program. Like they were fucking tuna. I don't Not a tuna, but you know what the fuck I'm saying.
Well, and, yeah.
Nobody's releasing any tunas, eat that motherfucker. Okay. Yum. Okay. What?
Tuna. Sorry. My inner fat girl came out for a second.
Yum, yum, bumblebee, bumblebee, bumblebee tune. You were going to say something.
Purple, because aliens don't wear hats.
Pretty sure that's not it.
Aliens versus Pokemon?
Oh, you mean this?
Alien? Pokemon.
No. Alien
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Pikachu.
No. Charizard, maybe?
Predator Pikachu? He's like the evil Asgard that kidnapped people and experimented on them.
I like
Don't draw on the TV. Shouldn't it be a small mustache?
There's some devil horns.
And some devil horns.
And the tail with the little triangle at the end. And his little pitchfork over here. Alright, I'm done. Sorry.
Gee, dear, don't get carried away or anything.
And flames all around him. Little bats and minions flying around.
So, you were commenting that she said, yeah, I was probably going to get mad at me for saying it, but she said, I never realized that Hillary Clinton had such a big butt.
Well, she does.
All right. But then I realized today that, you know, as, you know, I don't know, curvy old lady shaped as she is, Donald Trump is in fact more curvy old lady shaped. Like, if he had feathers poking out, he would look like a duck, man. Like, he kind of has this. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can zoom it. Like this kind of just butt out kind of gut, like with the tiny hands. Like he looks like a pregnant T-Rex. Like, okay, all right, I'm done. That kind of hurt my back. Anyway, yeah, Zoom thing stuff. All right, but seriously, like, did he play Howard the Duck? And remember the 80s? The 80s movie?
Yes, I remember Howard the Duck.
Obviously. So, Alien versus Pikachu. And, did you know that cooperating, and I'm reading the notes, you know, that I wrote down earlier as I was randomly thinking. So it's like randomly thinking and time travel at the same time, thanks to a pen and paper. Suck on that. Sorry.
What?
I don't know. I think of random shit and I spew it out towards the little box that
Tiger
I'm
Lily.
trapped in, apparently.
Daddy's gone crazy.
And she don't give a fuck.
No, she don't.
Okay. Did you know? Dingo. No. Did you know the dingo dog? The dingo dog. Okay. Did you know?
With his hairless butt.
Did you know? Did you? Did you? Huh? Did you know? Did you know?
You know what I know.
Okay. Moving on. Did you? Did you? Did you know? I don't know. Did you know? Do you know? Do you know?
No.
Do you? Do you?
I so thought about, like, pushing your head closer to the camera right then. Yeah. Only not so hard.
Giant forehead attack. Okay. Extreme close up. Wait, you want to do extreme close up? No. Okay.
Yeah, let's not. You do not want an extreme close-up of my long day.
Wait, let's do it. Let's do it together. Extreme close up. Come on. Extreme close up. Okay. All right. Did you know?
No, but I bet they're dying too by this point.
Alien versus Pokemon. Okay. That's the subject we're on. Sounds very serious, doesn't it? Okay. Did you know that cooperating with a foreign power to influence an election is technically considered treason? Yeah.
Go back
Treason.
to high school, ask your civics teacher.
Yes. Thank you, ninth grade civics. Or maybe it was just the honors class version of civics.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't think Trump was in the honors class. Probably not. So
Trust me, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. And we're finding it very hard to pin down because the conversation doesn't seem to be popular, even though this situation exists, where there's a lot of Bernie voters who are going to go vote for Trump. And I find this very interesting that now that there's no hope for their pro-Russian candidate, they're going to the other pro-Russian candidate. Whether this is, complicitness or they're just propagandized in this direction is completely a mute point if you're, trying to understand what the fuck I'm talking about on this channel. Because either way, it comes from the same place and it's kind of fucking scary and it has the same effect.
Even Barbara Bush made a comment, I think it was last week during the RNC, that any woman who votes for Trump is a complete fool.
Man.
Barbara Bush said this.
Like, how low do your standards have to be? Like, I 9 out of 10 female Trump voters have a tit job. Okay, it just has to be. Okay, and 9 out of 10 of those tent jobs are no longer in very good shape, I also guarantee. Believe me. Believe me.
It's gonna be huge.
Believe me, it's gonna be huge. Okay. Believe me, they're gonna be huge. They'll never sag. Oh yeah, they look perfect.
Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Go ahead.
Those of you who know what I was thinking just then, I salute you, sirs. And ma'ams. Okay. But no, I shall not demonstrate in that manner. Okay. What the fuck were you talking about?
I don't know, it's way past my bedtime.
Yeah. Is this English? Yeah, it's English. So, okay, all I gotta say to anybody who's a Bernie person, who's just so anti-Hillary, okay, first of all, stay tuned, because I'm going to do just a presentation on Hillary by herself, debunking the conspiracies against the Clintons in general, okay? And, while I can tell you that you're being influenced by a foreign power that wants to essentially destroy this country, I know that's kind of, a lot to swallow. So I just want to speak on simple terms, okay? As far as, and this goes for anybody who's actually considering voting for Donald Trump. Have you ever bought a car? Ever? Like from a salesman? No, not from your cousin, not from some dude on Craigslist. I'm talking go to a dealership, or especially a used car lot, and bought a car from a salesman. If so, how can you possibly consider voting for Donald Trump? Because let me just ask you this. If the guy that you bought the car from sounded like Donald Trump, just believe me, trust me, it's going to be beautiful. It's great. Look at the car. You love the car, right? Buy the car. You want the car, right? Don't you? You love the car, right?
You look good in the car.
You look good in the car. It's beautiful
The car
on
looks
you.
good on you.
You're meant to have this car, okay? The guy's full of shit and butters you up like that, the way Donald Trump is buttering people up. How well is that car running now? Ah. There is hope for you, young grasshoppers.
Maybe.
Maybe. Just a bit. See, the thing is, real businessmen and real Republicans aren't supporting Donald Trump for a reason. And the Republicans who think, like, he's inevitable and, like, they have no other choice, that do support him, you can tell they're not in it. Their hearts are not in it. They hate that they have to answer for what this Pikachu is saying, okay?
And for those of you who are Trump supporters who are like, oh, well, he's a great businessman, so he's going to do great for our country. Let me just tell you, he's not a great businessman.
Please watch the Bloomberg speech. That was pretty sweet.
Alright, let me explain something to you.
Let me explain something to you.
Let me explain something. Listen, Linda, listen. Listen.
Listen.
Listen,
Listen. Listen.
Okay, so Trump opened up hotels and casinos in Atlantic City. Hired contractors to build it, everything to put it together, make it run right. And then decided when the economy collapsed that he was going to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Not because he had to, but because he could. 3 times. Now, all those contractors that spent time building his hotels and doing all the labor for the casinos, they got screwed out of their money because of that. Trump University did not follow through on its promise. And they took advantage of people who were trying to better themselves and robbed them of thousands of dollars.
And just in general, okay, outside looking in at the people who think they've gained something from Trump University, don't the rest of us grown-up people know that you're not supposed to do things like that because they're fucking cons? You're not supposed to go to these you're gonna make more money seminars, okay? They're fucking schemes. Alright, you didn't learn anything that you couldn't just fucking open up a book and read for $24.99.
Or Google for free.
Google it. Yes, Google it. Alright? But these are people that specialize in making you feel like you're going to be successful. They press emotional hot buttons. They sell you the fucking car that is not going to work properly unless you give it constant fucking attention. Okay? And in Trump's case, man, it would take a lot of attention. It would take a lot of citizen-based accountability for this not to be a disaster for all of us. So anyways, anything else to add to that? Alright, so back to the convention. Alright, the Democratic Convention. Which, you know, tonight is the night that Hillary Clinton just spoke.
It's the last night of the DNC.
Last night of the DNC. And I was noticing last night how Panetta, former CIA director Leon Panetta, was speaking about Russia and Russian aggression and you know, the whole not letting them take over the world thing. And the Bernie people were taking that opportunity, interrupting a respected state, you know, official. Okay. I mean, you know, what happened to dignity, just to begin with? But they're chanting during his speech about Russian aggression, no more wars. I find that very interesting. And, you know, considering the foreign influence behind them and considering who Leon Panetta is, take a moment to look at how speechless he was when he had to sit there and smile and he just kind of broke a sweat a little bit, right? I mean, I know what most people would think about that. Oh, got him. He knows that the United States just causes wars. But no, he was actually speechless because he knows what's up. He knows exactly what I know. You understand? And the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called that weird guy on YouTube. Wait, no. What am I going to do? Sit here and toot my own horn? That wouldn't sound silly of me at all.
Beep beep, motherfuckers, beep beep.
Different kind of silly that I prefer. Um, so, yeah. You know, they have the little herders that get the crowd going. I mean, it's not like this was a spontaneous chant that just developed right as he was talking just about Russian aggression. And I think that's really telling of you know, the validity of my theories in particular. It's really telling of where the loyalties of the Bernie people lie. Okay? They, you know, it's burn or bust, right? That means a lot more than you think, you know, a lot more than they want you to think. But it's the way they've coached these people and the way they've brainwashed these people is really sick. Okay, and it borderlines from invoked mental illness to like hipster peer pressure. Okay, and it's varying all the way in between, like this crowd of people that forms. But despite their reasons for joining up in this burning or bust crowd, what they've wound up doing is becoming sort of an anarchist group. Okay, and that's what the burn or bust thing is. It's our way or fuck everything, and that's not how democracy works. Okay, and frankly, stop acting like Republicans. Stop acting like Bush era Republicans. Anyway. So, yeah, really telling that these people who were, you know, the people who at the local conventions were telling them not to allow the processes, and when they're dismissed, tell them not to leave until they get their way. Okay, basically these few people trying to tell this entire group of people what to do. All right. Meanwhile, they're complaining about coordination among the Democratic Party when there's basically an organized socialist movement to usurp the Democratic Party's process. Okay? So, you know, go fuck yourselves. Am I wrong?
Nope.
Because these people aren't Democrats. Anyway, they're the people that the Republicans would be right about when they criticize Democrats unjustly. Okay, when they call Obama a socialist, that's who they're fucking talking about. All right, those people who don't really care about order and safety and just, you know, logic and religious freedom. See, a socialism has always resulted in either the theocratizing of religion or the banning of religion. Okay, because of that consolidation of power. Anyways. So, and you know, obviously our socialist era propaganda comes from when religion was banned in the Soviet Union. So they're, you know, like the whole commie atheists, liberal, ultra-liberal movement, or whatever. But anyways. So, no more wars. When they were talking about ISIS, okay, talking about defeating ISIS, people are chanting no more wars, okay. So, just let ISIS wipe out entire villages and throw gay people off buildings and commit genocide against the Yazidis and the Mandeans and all the individual beautiful cultures and destroy monuments and just let them do that, right? Because no more wars, right? Or how about no more wars? Go tell that to the Ukrainians or the let's see, I don't even have to look at the list. the Georgians or the Chechens or the Uzbeks or the Yugoslavians, hell, the people on the border of China. Anything else on the list? Latvia, Lithuania, Poland,
South Korea,
Kazakhstan, South Korea. Yeah, Putin supplies North Korea. China tries to help us mediate. Okay? There are people in China who are bad. Okay? There's a lot of people in China who are bad. Okay? China's trying to get better. There's a lot of people in China trying to make China better. Okay? But at no point was China the main line of support for the North Korean regime. Okay? And most people who haven't watched this channel aren't even aware that Russia even shares a border with North Korea. But yes, they do. And during this whole thing, while Putin's invading Ukraine and Kim Jong-un is firing missiles and stuff, Putin decided to give Kim Jong-un a bunch of new missiles and a bunch of fire trucks just in case, he got bombed. A bunch of fire trucks. Made a big celebration, like a big show of when they brought him there too.
I read somewhere today that Kim Jong-un has supported Donald Trump. He likes Donald Trump.
Oh, I'm sure he would. They've got so much in common.
Right.
Oh my God. They're besties. They're
Twinsies.
They're like BFFs, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure you heard, Putin, Trump sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, maybe Russia could get those emails for us from the DNC," and it's been people within the Trump campaign, including the former Putin associate and Yankovic lawyer, the guy who, oversaw the Maidan massacre in Ukraine, okay, which led to Putin's annexation of Crimea, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They have been cooperating. Okay, there's no evidence of this, but there's been several indications of this, that they've been cooperating with the Trump campaign to try to bring down Hillary Clinton. Like, I don't even know how people consider it a secret anymore. Like what kind of proof do you think there should be that a secret intelligence service in a political campaign would, leave some sort of trail? It's fucking obvious. Okay? Aliens and Pokemons just like each other. It's just who they are as fictional characters. Yeah. And on that bombshell, it's time to go to fucking sleep.
Yes, because I've got one more day of hell. I mean work.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Please click the... Don't kick the like button. It's, on your computer, and your computer will be damaged if you kick it. So click the like button and punch the subscribe button. And, maybe slice up the share link and
don't forget,
explode it onto somebody's Facebook page or something.
Don't forget, go donate in the name of the fallen officers. Donate blood. It's not that hard. I did it yesterday on my lunch break.
Yeah.
And you can do that from anywhere and support your local police force. So.
Yes, and no, I was just joking. Don't do anything violent to your computer.
Or your cell phone.
Yes.
However you're watching. Or your tablet. However you're watching this.
Or your watch.
Yeah,
For those of you who are really cool who have that little watch smartphone thing. Oh, God, Dick Tracy. Calling Dick Tracy!
Mine is just
It's a watch. If you try to watch it,
there you
you'll
go.
get bored.
It's just a watch. But it's pretty watch.
Like, subscribe, comment below. What do you think the difference between a Democrat and a socialist is? Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night. Peace.